Good morning. The meeting will now come to order. Welcome to this meeting of the Charlotte Unified Development Board of Adjustment on Tuesday, September the 24th, 2024. My name is Deborah Dryden and I am chair of the board. Would the board members please go around and state your name for the record?
Amy Wingy.
Deborah Dryden.
Kevin Shea.
Marshall Williamson.
Thank you very much. Also present are Solomon Fortune, our zoning administrator, John Kinley, our senior project manager, Crystal Montague, our planner, Kamisha Lampley, the clerk to the board, Therese Hegler Gray, our senior assistant city attorney, advisor to the planning staff, Jill Sanchez Myers, our senior assistant city attorney, advisor to the board, and Nicole Hewitt, assistant city attorney, advisor to the board, and Christy Johnson, the Veritex court reporter. Each of today's hearings is a quasi-judicial evidentiary hearing. That means it is like a court hearing. State law sets specific procedures and rules concerning how this board must make its decisions. These rules are different from other types of land use decisions like rezoning cases. The board's discretion is limited. The board must base the decision upon competent, relevant, and substantial evidence in the record. A quasi-judicial decision is not a popularity contest. It is a decision constrained by the standards in the ordinance and based on the facts presented. If you will be speaking as a witness, please focus on the facts and ordinance standards, not personal preferences or opinion. The general witness testimony is limited to facts. For certain topics, this board needs to hear opinion testimony from expert witnesses. These topics include projections about impacts on property values and projections about impacts on increased traffic. Individuals providing expert opinion must be qualified as experts and provide the factual evidence upon which they base their expert opinion. While hearsay evidence is not specifically excluded, it is only given limited weight. Parties with standing have rights to participate fully. Parties may present evidence, call witnesses, and make legal arguments. Parties are limited to the applicant, the city, and the individuals who can show they will suffer specific damages. Other individuals may provide testimony as witnesses when recognized by the board. Witnesses must swear or affirm their testimony. Any individual wishing to speak as a witness today was required to sign up. If you haven't done so, please do so now. The parties to each case are entitled to an impartial decision maker. A board member may not participate in a hearing if they have a fixed opinion about the matter, a financial interest in the outcome of the matter, or a close familial, business, or associational relationship with the affected person. The parties to each case also have a right to any ex parte communication to be disclosed. Ex parte communication is any communication about the case outside of the hearing. It may include site visits as well as conversations with parties or the general public. At the start of each case, any potential conflict of interest or ex parte communication should be disclosed by a board member, if applicable. These matters may also be raised by an affected party. Today's meeting will follow the order printed on the agenda. The regular agenda will be as follows. All parties who plan to give testimony must be sworn in. A staff member will present a summary of the case. The board may question the staff member, and then the applicant will question the staff member. The applicant presents their testimony for the case, and any sworn witnesses provide testimony. The board and city staff may question the applicant and their witnesses. Other parties wishing to speak for or against a case will be given reasonable time to present sworn testimony. The staff and then the applicant will be given an opportunity for rebuttal. After hearing each case, the board will review the case and render a decision. This is usually done in closed deliberations after hearing each case. The chairperson calls for a motion and a second to approve or deny the variance or appeal. In the case of an appeal, the chairperson calls for a motion and a second to uphold modify, or reverse the administrator's decision. The decision will be made by a simple majority vote of the board. However, the board may elect to take up to 30 days to render a decision. You may remain present during the deliberations, or you may call the zoning staff after the session to receive the decision of the board. If you wish to receive a written copy of the decision letter, please indicate so on the sign-in sheet. All exhibits must remain with the board. If your case is not appealed to Superior Court after 30 days, you may pick them up or they will be destroyed. An appeal from this board is to the Mecklenburg County Superior Court. You have 30 days from the date of the board's written decision in which to appeal in accordance with NCGS 160D 45D. We now open the evidentiary hearing for variance number 2024-00036. The property is located at 2100 Juniper. Before we begin, does any board member have a conflict of interest or potential conflict or any ex parte communication they need to disclose? All right. This time I'll administer the oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you shall give to the board in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right.
Hello, today we're going to hear case number variance 2024-0036 to reduce setbacks. The applicant is Green Group LLC for property located at 2100 Juniper Drive, owned by Teresa Sanders. It's two variance requests for setbacks for N1B zoning. The first variance is to reduce the front setback from 27 feet to 21 feet, a 6-foot reduction. The second variance is to reduce the rear setback from 35 feet to 21 feet, a 14-foot reduction, with the condition that only single-family detached dwelling and associated accessory uses and structures be permitted. Here is the vicinity map. The zoning map, it is N1B, Neighborhood 1 zoning district. Here is an aerial map. It is located off of Juniper Drive, I-77 is close by. This is a bird's eye view east of the property. And here it is a street view looking south of the property. Once again, there's two variance requests. The first one is the front setback from 27 feet to 21 feet, a 6-foot reduction. Second one is to reduce the rear setback 35 feet to 21 feet, a 14-foot reduction, with the condition only a single-family detached dwelling and associated structures are permitted. On this side, you'll see proposed home, 30 by 40 here. Without the variance, the building envelope is 25 feet from the deepest point and 5 feet from the narrowest point. The parcel itself is 93 feet deep at the deepest point and 67 feet deep at the narrowest point. Here is the recorded plat. This is before 77. It was 4 lots. And in the 1992 zoning map, you can see the parcel here as one, and this is after 77's in. Here's the variance criteria. And the considerations. Unnecessary hardship would result from the strict application of the regulation because of the small size and lack Small size of the building envelope and the lack of depth of the property, which creates a unbuildable building envelope. The hardship does result from conditions that are peculiar to the property because of the unique shape, small size, and depth of the lot due to the curve of Juniper Drive. The hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant or property owner. The parcel is an existing legally conforming lot and was not created by the property owner. The hardship results from the lot shape and size. The requested variance is consistent with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the regulation, such that the public safety is secured and substantial justice is achieved. The proposed setbacks are comparable to other residential zoning districts. The proposed variance will permit the construction of a home that is 30 feet in depth and consistent with other single-family detached homes in the area, which range from 25 to 45 feet in depth. Granting the variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And the last slide shows the sign that we posted on the property. Have any questions? Thank you.
Crystal, can you go back to the plat, please? One more. Okay, and can you go back to the survey? Just so I'm clear, house box means house pad, I assume. So a detached garage could go anywhere, correct?
Up to 3
Three feet, basically anywhere.
Is he 21 feet?
I don't know that.
Chairperson Dryden, just a quick reminder, if anybody else, my understanding is that only Ms. Musiger was sworn in, so if anybody else from staff would like to provide additional testimony, they would have to be sworn in.
Right. You. Let's cover all the bases. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the board in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. I'm confused about this graphic. What's the little dotted lines? What are they?
That's the setback pad.
That's the setback.
So that's why it's not big enough to go on.
Yeah, the shape that's created is the shape of the buildable area of the lot if you take away all the setbacks. So if you were to build a house on the current setback, it would be the shape of that, basically, door handle.
Okay. Interesting. All right, what was your question about a detached garage? I don't understand.
Well, the staff is saying that they agree with this and the allowance of accessory buildings. And to be clear, accessory buildings can be a detached garage, for example, and they can go anywhere. They don't follow the rules of the house. They can go anywhere within 3 feet of the line.
Well, maybe not the front setback, even within the front setback, or no? So they can get closer to a setback on the side and rear, but not the front.
And then where would the garage
The 20-foot front line, that dotted line,
go? Uh-huh,
anything beyond that,
beyond
up
that,
to 3 feet,
from the property line.
go anywhere it wants.
So anywhere in there. Any other questions from the board for staff?
I have a graphical correction on number 12.
Okay,
It should be because of these, because of the small size of the building. So after
the
size.
size of the building. Okay. Yeah. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this?
I believe we have the applicants here to speak in favor, but we don't have anybody to speak in opposition, so recommendation.
Okay, all right. Any discussion? Or do I hear a motion, or what are we doing here, guys?
Motion to approve the variance.
Mr. Williamson? Have a motion to approve.
Court second.
Court seconds. Mr. Williamson,
Williamson, yes.
Mr. Shea, okay. Ms. Sun? And Mr. Court?
Court, yes.
Shay, yes.
Okay. And Dryden, yes. So the motion is approved. All right, now do I hear a motion to approve the finding of facts and conclusions of law as amended with number 12? We added the word of.
Motion to approve the findings of fact and conclusions of law as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Court.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Before you proceed on, or before there's a second,
Okay.
on number 12, I believe that should read the strict application of the ordinance results in hardship because, not the hardship results in strict application of the ordinance. I believe that's just
So start with the strict application of the ordinance.
correct. Or the hardship results from, maybe that's what that was the intent.
Hardship
So, yeah,
results
just change
from.
in to from, the hardship
Right,
results
okay, I
from.
like that better.
Okay, thanks.
I'll
So-
amend my motion to include the revision of the word in to the word from.
Right. And the
We
word-
do
and-
have a couple of additional pieces, and these are questions for staff.
Okay.
On finding of fact number 6, it reads, physical survey completed on July 26, 2024 shows the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and the building envelope without the variance granted. This reads more of like the testimony that's presented to the board as opposed to a finding of fact. We would give staff a chance to amend if you would like to amend or say anything different. Otherwise, our recommendation would be to delete that.
Okay. Staff?
So it could potentially read as the applicant provided a physical survey and then sort of reading the rest of, keeping the rest of the sentence as is. But just the way that it's written right now, it's not really a finding of fact.
July 26, 2024, showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot and building envelope without the variance granted. Does that work?
As long as it works for the board.
Okay, so we're saying that it's going to read now that applicant provided a physical survey completed on July 26, 2024, showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and the building envelope without the variance. I don't like the variance. That doesn't make sense to me. They provided,
How about as required by zoning? The UDO, as required by the UDO?
applicant provided a physical survey showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and the building envelope.
Or just say without.
If the
Could we just say
variance
with period
is not
after
granted.
envelope? I mean, if you want to include it, right? Because they're, all you're saying is they provided you with a survey.
Requirements.
Just drop the.
Yeah, just, we're gonna drop without the variance granted. We're just gonna put envelope period. We're going to drop that. Thank you. So it would now read, if this, Ms. Hewitt, if this fits, the applicant provided a physical survey completed on July the 26th showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and the building envelope. Is that satisfactory to everybody? Oh, you don't like that?
I would prefer to say permitted within the UDO.
Okay, envelope. So after envelope, permitted within the UDO?
Mhm.
Well, let's see, we'll try it again. All right, the applicant provided a physical survey completed on July the 26th, blah, 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 showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and building envelope permitted within the UDO. That work?
As long as the board is okay with those amendments.
All right.
Yes.
Everybody's in favor of that? Okay, so are there any others you need to?
The only other piece that I would ask staff to confirm or clarify is in finding of fact number 14 on the other side of the page. The second sentence states the parcel is an existing legal conforming lot. Is that intended to say legal non-conforming lot? Okay. Okay, just wanted clarification on that. Thank you.
So it is an existing legally conforming lot. Okay. Okay, Mr. Court, you want to try that one more time?
I will amend my motion to include the revisions previously related to findings of fact number 6.
And 12.
Well, I already
Yeah,
revised
you already
those, but
revised
yeah.
12. Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve the finding of facts with amending number 6 and number 12. Do I hear a second?
Williamson, second.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Court?
Court, yes.
Okay. Ms. Dunn?
Son, yes.
Mr. Shea?
Say yes.
Mr. Williamson?
Williamson, yes.
Dryden, yes. So the finding of facts are approved as amended. Okay, staff, you got all that? We're good? Okay. Thank you. Okay, next case. The evidentiary hearing for variance 2024-00038 with property located at 3011 Deep Meadow Lane. Ms. Montague, or no, oh, Mr. Kinley, okay. Thank you. Supreme Court.
Okay, ready?
Well, give us one more minute to look at these, your things here. Kanisha, can I get a copy?
Here, I think I got
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Kinley.
All right, this one is also on our recommendation agenda. I don't believe there's anyone here to speak in opposition. We do have the applicants and the agent here in case there are questions that we cannot answer. This is a case variance 2024-038. It's represented by David Murray. The property is located at 3011 Deep Meadow Lane. And it is a request to 18.2 B3A which is architectural features permitted permitted extensions into the required setbacks of the UDO. And they would like to increase that percentage of encroachment that's permitted from 25% to 43% of the depth of the required platted rear setback. And that's 15 feet into the 35-foot rear setback for a proposed screen porch. So here's the vicinity map of the property. It's at the end of a cul-de-sac, off of Park Road, neighborhood off of Park Road. Here's the parcel. You see how the cul-de-sac kind of slopes down. This is their house, and the house is zoned N1A along with the rest of the neighborhood. So the home is about 12 feet further back due to the shape of the lot and the way the cul-de-sac is at an angle. So compared to the other houses adjacent around it, it is further back the lot than their neighbors. On the side of the house, to the, I guess if you're facing the house, this would be on the left-hand side. The kitchen and HVAC equipment is all along this area here. The variance request again is to this section in Article 18.2, which basically deals with extensions of structures into required setbacks. And it says that a appropriate extension like a porch or deck can encroach up to 25% into the required rear yard. So what they are requesting is a 43% reduction of 43% encroachment into the required setback. And the required setback is actually the required from the plat, because this was developed as a cluster subdivision, and that cluster subdivision had a 35-foot rear yard. And so I'll show you that plat here in a second. So this is actually it. So developed as an R15 cluster subdivision. So R15, really old zoning that goes back before the legacy zoning ordinance. And that subdivision plat showed a 35-foot front setback and a 35-foot rear setback. The 35-foot rear is not shown on here, but it's noted in the notes as being zoned R15 cluster. And if you go back to the old zoning ordinance at the time, R15 cluster required a 35-foot rear yard. So what the UDO says is that the platted setbacks supersede, for front setbacks, the platted setbacks supersede the requirements of the UDO. And because this is done under special cluster provisions in the old ordinance, those setbacks also supersede the requirements of the UDO. So both, in this case, both the rear setback, or the rear setback and the front setback both supersede the requirements of the zoning ordinance for the UDO.
All right, before you move on with that, so, but how much, you said they moved the house back because of the odd shape of the lot.
Right. This house sits here because the way this setback makes the turn and sweeps down to go around the cul-de-sac, whereas these folks, their house is up closer to the street. And then same here, their house is able to be over here. So this house is kind of stuck down in this corner to accommodate the shape of this lot.
But there still is a 35-foot setback
Yeah.
for the rear.
Yeah, in the rear. And it meets that.
Okay.
So if you look at the survey, this line here is the required 35-foot platted setback, and their house is built right on the rear setback line because of the way the property is shaped, and they just meet the front platted setback as well, 35 feet. So they're pinched between this 35-foot setback in the front that comes down and the rear setback along the back of 35 feet. So what they're asking to do is to allow a greater percentage of encroachment into that 35-foot rear yard, to allow a 15 by 16 screened-in porch, and then that screened-in porch would be 20 feet from the rear property line. I've got some more images to show as well, I know, depict what's going on. So behind their house, this is a picture behind their house, and you can see they have like this very low deck. I think it's pretty much sitting on the ground. And then they have just, I think it's right here past the set of 3 windows that drops down to a little lower, again, basically at grade deck. We we would consider that to be a patio. This is a little higher, so I think we would call that a deck, but it's basically on the ground. But all of this is existing, and their proposed porch would just go to the extent of what is existing on that low deck. Standards for granting a variance, that all 4 of these standards have to be met. And if y'all need a minute, I can give you a few minutes to look over the findings before I go over those. And we'll have some typographical changes too, based on what we did for the last case, just so things are consistent.
Okay. So just to be clear, there already is a patio that encroaches on the 35-foot setback?
Yes, and it encroaches the same amount as what they would be proposing to have for their, but a patio is treated differently. At grade patios, there's no percentage requirements for an at grade patio. A deck has a percentage requirement. Patio does not. A porch has a percentage requirement. That's
okay. Thank you.
John, is this going to be at the same grade as the patio deck?
Yeah, they're basically going to put it to where they can walk from this door into their screen porch.
So it could be a screen patio.
But yeah, it's going to be a screen patio porch.
Okay, you can continue.
All right. Unnecessary hardship results from the strict application of the ordinance because the parcel is located on the edge of a cul-de-sac that creates an odd-shaped parcel, and the existing home is constructed on the 35-foot rear setback line to accommodate the curve of that front setback. The home was built according to the setbacks on the recorded plat, placing the home further back on the lot than the current zoning requirements. And the placement of the home limits the space in the rear yard for a proposed porch. The applicant cannot place the proposed porch to the side of the home due to the location of the kitchen and HVAC unit equipment. And then hardship results from conditions that are peculiar to the property. It's because of the shape of the lot and the placement of the home on that lot. Hardship does not result from actions that are taken by the applicant. The parcel is an existing legally conforming lot, and the home was not built by the property owner. It was built by previous owners or the developer. The requested variance is consistent with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the ordinance. There's an existing at-grade patio and low deck at the rear of the home, and the proposed porch will be constructed over that low deck and not extend past the existing patio and deck. And granting the variance would not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And here's a picture of the sign on the property, and I will take any questions if you have them.
Are the encroachment percentages consistent with previous zoning ordinances? Is this new to the UDO?
I think it's roughly the same. I think the previous ordinance, I think legacy zoning was 25%, I believe.
Correct.
So I don't know going all the way back to the ordinance before that, but at least from the UDO to the previous ordinance is the same.
And this is an encroachment allowed because it's a porch, and that differs from heated square footage.
That's correct. Yeah, if it was heated square footage, it would have to meet the zoning requirement for the lot and there's no exceptions or exemptions for extensions into that area.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it really applies to decks, screened-in porches, just unenclosed porches, maybe like back stoops, that sort of thing.
But by granting this variance and letting them put a screen porch, there's nothing to say they couldn't go. I mean, if they went back and closed that in and tried to make it heated space, what would they have to get another permit to do that?
Yeah, they would have to get a building permit to enclose it and create heated space.
All right. Any other questions for staff? All right. Any discussion, or do I have a motion to approve this variance?
Court moved to approve the variance.
Okay, Mr. Court moves. Do I hear a second?
Williamson, second.
Mr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Shea, Ms. Sun,
Sun, yes.
Mr. Court,
Court, yes.
Dryden, yes. So this is approved. All right, now let's look at the finding of facts and conclusions of law. And Ms. Hewitt, do you have some recommendations before we start?
I would just want to point out, finding of fact number 5, it reads similar to our last case. If there's anything staff would like to do to amend that, or if there's anything the board would prefer to amend that. The last amendment was to the effect of the applicant provided a physical survey showing the parcel. Those were the main changes of the last one. Those can be the same changes here unless the board or staff has anything to add.
So I would suggest that we do the application provided, the applicant provided a physical survey completed on August 15th, 2024, showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot permitted within the UDO, and the location and dimensions of the proposed addition.
I think you can put those words in the end. Dimensions of the lot. Proposed
Addition permitted within the UDO. Add that at the end of the sentence as opposed to after the dimensions of the lot.
Okay, well, the reason I was thinking that we might want to put it after the word lot is that the proposed addition isn't permitted within the UDO without you guys granting the variance. So that was my rationale for putting it there, but I'm open to whatever you guys want to do.
I think that it makes it sound like the dimensions of the lot are not set in stone, that they're a factor of the UDO, but the dimensions are just the dimensions.
Yeah, I would prefer it to say the applicant provided a physical survey completed showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, and the proposed addition permitted within the UDO.
We would,
Well,
I think our recommendation would be to go with staff's recommendation.
So after lot permitted within the UDO.
Yes, and then
and
the
then
last,
proposed addition.
and then the last piece, Mr. Kinley, if you could just restate that, it would be, and the dimensions of the proposed addition?
Yes.
Okay,
The dimensions of the what?
of the proposed addition.
So say it for me again. The applicant has provided
A physical survey completed on August 15th, 2024, showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot permitted within the UDO, and the location and dimensions of the proposed addition.
say that last and the what's the last sentence and the what
And the location and
the
dimensions. Location and dimensions of the proposed addition.
Okay. I don't.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
You could add setbacks as permitted. So you could say the applicant provided a physical survey completed on August 15th, 2014, showing the parcels, the dimensions of the lot, comma, setbacks as permitted within the UDO, comma, and the location and dimensions of the proposed addition. Is it showing that? Showing the dimensions?
They do show the setbacks.
Okay. Is that sound?
Okay, all right, let me write this down, so when I look at minutes, I'll know what we amended. So now we're gonna say the applicant provided, you want to say a physical survey? Or just a
Yes,
survey?
keep it as close as possible.
Applicant provided a physical survey completed on August 15, 2020, showing the parcel, the dimensions of the lot, comma, and the, all right, now where do we go from there?
The setback, sorry.
Setbacks.
And the proposed, and the set, okay, wait a minute, lot, and the setbacks.
According to the UDO.
All right, wait a minute. According to the UDO, okay.
And the proposed addition.
Is that what you wanted to say, Mr. Court, and the proposed addition?
And the location and dimensions of
and
the
the location and dimensions of the proposed law,
proposed addition.
proposed addition. Okay, all right, let's read it again and see if everybody's got it now. The applicant provided a physical survey completed on August the 15th, 2024, showing the parcel, comma, the dimensions of the lot, comma, and the setbacks according to the UDO, comma, and the location dimensions of the proposed addition. Ms. Hewitt, does that work?
If that is satisfactory to the board.
Staff, is that satisfactory to you?
Yes.
Okay, Betty?
Yes, C plus on grammar, but we'll take it.
Nobody's grading.
On number 11, we need to change into from.
All right, so resulted from contract application. Any other?
On number 7, just to clarify, is the intention here to say that the planning department's policy is that platted setbacks from the cluster development supersedes zoning setbacks?
Yes, that would be more clear.
Okay, that would be our recommendation, to state at the beginning of the sentence, the planning department's policy.
Departments. Okay. Policy is that platted setbacks from cluster development supersede zoning setbacks. So you're just adding the word departments? Okay. Okay. Any other corrections? Okay, Solomon, go.
It's a minor one.
That's okay.
Look at that address, this is 3011 Deep Meadow Drive, 3011 Deep Meadow Lane.
Where are we?
Findings of fact at the top, where it says applicant, address,
Oh, it's 30.
11 Deep Meadow, it says drive, but that should be Deep Meadow Lane.
Okay.
And that's also in finding fact number 2.
Correct.
Okay. Deep Meadow Lane.
Well, it's the address for the whole thing up there at the top.
It's all incorrect.
3011.
Do we have any say over anything above the findings of fact?
I mean, it's all for you to approve
Okay.
or deny as you see fit, so. But it also is included in finding of fact number 2. It does state
Right.
3011 Deep Meadow Drive, and it should say lane.
Good catch, Solomon.
Thank you, Solomon. All right, any other corrections? All right, do I hear a motion to approve the finding of facts and conclusions of law as amended?
So move. Court move to approve as amended.
All right, Mr. Court, do I hear a second?
Williamson, second.
Okay. All right, Mr. Court,
Court, yes?
Ms. Sun,
Sun, yes.
Mr. Shea,
Say yes.
Mr. Williamson,
Williamson, yes.
Dryden, yes. So the finding of facts and conclusions of law are approved as amended. All right. Okay, if we could look please at the minutes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Mr. Shea makes a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Court, second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then the minutes are approved. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we need to discuss one more item before we dismiss. If you will look, you have a calendar that was put in with your packet. Should be one of the last pages. So. All right, the staff has suggested some dates for the for the November and December meetings because they fall so close to Thanksgiving and Christmas. Mr. McKinley, did you have a chance to look at those dates, the ones we talked about work?
Yes, and your your suggested dates of November 19th and December 17th should work from a timing perspective for us. So if those dates are good for you guys,
Okay.
then.
That's what we need to discuss, guys. They have suggested, because November 26th falls the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So they said the tentative date was December the 3rd. The discussion that we had earlier was that we move that a week earlier to November the 19th. Does that work for everybody for the November meeting? So,
Yes, for me.
okay, all right, that's good. We'll vote on that in just a minute. All right, but in the December meeting, we've always held that earlier in December, but rather than move it to January, we would like to move it to December the 17th, which is a Tuesday in the middle of the month. Is that okay? All right, do I have to do a motion, or do we just say, yes, we approve, or, I'm sorry. Was there-
So
I can do one.
we may have conflicts because we have other boards that meet on those days. We may be able to split and do one of each, or if it doesn't happen, we can both be here. But I think as of right now, if the board does decide on those dates, we will try to make it work. If we can't, we will touch base with staff.
Okay, and we can look at it next month too. This is not set in stone. We were just suggesting to try to keep them within the month that they're due. So we're not. Okay, all right, so the board is recommending that we do the November meeting on November the 19th and the December meeting on December the 17th, if it works for staff and if it works for the attorneys. If they can make that work.
So just to clarify, on the page that has been provided, it says that the December meeting would have been December 31st and the tentative is January 7th. What you're saying is that instead of having it in January, having it on December 17th. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
And
We
the
should-
November meeting, instead of the tentative December 3rd, we would have it on November the 19th.
On November the 19th.
Correct.
Okay. We should be able to make that work, but if for whatever reason we aren't, we will let staff know with enough time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. I was just trying to keep them within the month that they're, and so move into December and then to January, and then that would make us have 2 in January. So if you can make that work, we'd appreciate it. All right, anything else from the board and from staff? Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much. Oh, okay.